This is a brand new Wheeltop wireless electronic group set, and it could be the best upgrade for your bike in 2024. Why? Well, because for a start, the new group set is way more affordable than anything comparable from Shimano or SRAM. But the real genius, the beauty of this new group set, is the fact you can choose how many speeds a group set uses, from 3 all the way up to 14. And to demonstrate, I have on my Fairlight Sacan, I've replaced a 10-speed mechanical shifting, mechanical disc brake group set with a wireless electronic group set and hydraulic disc brakes. And that means it's perfect for retrofitting to any older bike and give that mechanical bike a modern electronic wireless upgrade for the cost of the rear derailleur, the front derailleur, the hoods and the brakes. And while I have hydraulic disc brakes here, you can choose a rim brake group set as well, and giving you way more choice than Shimano or SRAM, who are in fact removing choice, taking away support for rim brakes for a start and forcing you onto 12-speed, their latest group set, which is fine if you're buying a brand new bike. But if you have an older bike, not that old, like my CAD 12 for example, but fancy an electronic wireless group set, well, right now your options are limited until right now with the new Wheeltop group set that makes that retrofit upgrade a real possibility, which is why I think this is the most exciting group set on the market right now. So let's dive into details a bit more and then go for a ride and see if it lives up to that excitement. So Wheeltop is the latest of a growing number of Chinese companies vying for our attention and wallet and trying to compete with the likes of Shimano and SRAM and to a lesser extent Campag too. I think this is the most interesting so far because of the reasons I've outlined already. And while I say it's a group set, it's not a full group set. What you're buying for just over £600, I'll put prices for your region down below, is the rear derailleur, the front derailleur, the hoods or shifters, and the brake calipers. And it does look good. It's quite chunky, but not terrible. Nice bit of carbon fibre there, quite understated branding. Front derailleur is quite chunky as well, but not terrible. And we have nice carbon fibre, curvy, swoopy brake levers and quite ergo shaped hoods and 2 buttons on this side and 1 button on the other side. And the brake calipers are quite chunky, it has to be said. They're not the prettiest things in the world, but we'll see how they perform in a bit. But yeah, it's a good looking group set. I don't think it looks terrible. Not as slick as the latest Shimano or SRAM, but Shimano launched Di2 back in 2011. So it's over 10 years and they've had 3 or 4 iterations, and SRAM is up to 3 generations now of Axis group sets, or ETAP and then Axis. So for a first gen group set, it's not terrible. Now clearly they had the advantage of seeing what other companies are doing, but they haven't just copied SRAM, while it does look like they have. The batteries aren't removable, which isn't terrible. We've got charging ports underneath these rubber flaps, which don't stay in place. That's a bit annoying. And battery life claimed to be good for 2,000 kilometers, so comparable, I think, to Shimano and a bit more than SRAM. I think the hoods are the most impressive part of the group set. So I've got my Insta 360 X4 on the front, forming right now on the Ace Pro. Let's hit the road and see how it performs. Right, here we go. Nice to be back on my Fairlight. Such a nice bike this, so lovely to ride. Got some new 40mm Panaracer Gravel King tyres on as well for review. So comfy. Anyway, the group set. Straight away, good impressions. The hoods are very ergonomic, nicely shaped indeed. Similar to Shimano in how round and smooth they are, and quite a small knob. What is the actual technical name for this bit here? The nubbin? Answers down below. Anyway, similar to Shimano, better than SRAM, apart from the new one. The material, the rubber, is quite slippery though, not as tactile and grippy as Shimano SRAM. They do stay in place, and we have this textured finish on the top for more grip when you're riding in the rain or you're sweating loads, but definitely a bit more slippery than other group sets. But yeah, shaped nice, I like that. And the brake levers are carbon fibre and have a nice curve. So 2 fingers on the brake levers, nice and easy to operate. And then changing gear, well, it's like Shimano, to operate the rear derailleur, there are two buttons, and a smaller button goes to a harder or smaller sprocket, is raised in comparison to a bigger paddle for going up to an easier, bigger sprocket, and they work well. Press the button, gear change, yeah, pretty quick, not slow. There's a nice reassuring clunk when a chain moves across the cassette. And then changing gear to front is actually really clever. There's one single button compared to Shimano, which has two, and SRAM has one. But with SRAM, you have to press both buttons at the same time. But with this group set, press that one button and the front derailleur changes gear. Up and down, up and down. And I really like that feature. I like the fact they've taken a bit of Shimano and a bit of SRAM and mashed them together into what I think might be a better setup. I think SRAM still has the best, most intuitive gear layout with two paddles, and lots of people are familiar and very comfortable with Shimano. It's so common and so popular. But I love having that single button on the left compared to Shimano where they have two buttons. But Shimano now, with the latest firmware on 12 speed, I think it's only 12 speed, allows you to have the same sort of operation of one button goes up and down. The shifting speed of the group set is pretty impressive, it has to be said, both out on the open road and in my work stand. The gear changes are quick, precise, smooth, pretty quiet, and in my time testing the group set, I haven't missed a gear change at all. The front shifting is reliable as well, and how good the front shifting is does depend on the chain set and the chain rings you go for, but I haven't missed a shift at the front and I haven't dropped the chain during my time riding the group set, even when riding off-road on bumpy trails. The brakes feel pretty good actually. Hydraulic disc brakes with brake pads that are compatible with Shimano, so you could change them for different ones. And once they're bedded in, they work okay. Nice and firm lever action, very firm. Maybe not as much kind of squidgy modulation at and around the biting point as the latest 12 speed Shimano or the latest SRAM Red axes, which is currently the benchmark in my opinion. But they do compare well to older Shimano 11 speed. Yeah, no noise, no squeal, no rubbing, plenty of clearance between the pads and the disc brake rotor. Had no issues getting them nice and straight. Overall then, I am super impressed with the group set. It works really well. Nice gear changes, brakes are good, ergonomics are good. Yeah, not bad at all. I love the fact you can choose how many speeds the group set offers from the app. Running a 10-speed wireless electronic group set is something I never thought I'd be able to do in 2024, but here we are on my Fairlight steel bike with a 10-speed wireless electronic group set, and that's pretty fabulous, I think. So that is something really exciting, something you can't do with SRAM or Shimano. They just don't offer it. They have no interest. And you can have a rim brake version if you want as well. So while Shimano and SRAM are taking away choice, Wheeltop are bringing that choice back, and that is pretty damn cool. That's definitely something I can fully support. But there are a few wrinkles worth pointing out. The rubber material on the hood is super stiff, and rolling it back to get onto the handlebar and put the bar tape around and do up the retaining bolt is really tricky, and also bleeding the brakes is made trickier by the rubber material being super stiff. So that is definitely something they could improve. And it doesn't feel quite as tactile and soft and grippy as Shimano or SRAM either, but it does stay in place. There's no issue with that moving around when you are sprinting out of the saddle. Another annoyance is the charging cable has a magnet but doesn't always stay firmly in place, and sometimes I thought I'd had it on securely and charging, but come back to the bike later and it was at a slight angle and wasn't actually charging. So that attachment could be more secure. And also the other annoyance are the rubber flaps that cover and protect the metal contacts don't really stay in place. The front one isn't too bad, but the rear one, whatever I do, it just won't stay in place. So hopefully we can see a running update on those rubber flaps. But if there are protectors to protect from the elements, you want them to stay in place and not flap around in the wind. So this is a road bike group set. They have a mountain bike group set, and apparently they have a gravel group set in the pipeline as well, which is pretty exciting. And you can run it 1x or 2x as you prefer. And right now I have 40mm wide tyres on this bike, but I actually tried to fit a 45 to the back, but I had issues with the clearance between the tyre and the front derailleur. So there is a max tyre limitation on that front derailleur, so that's worth bearing in mind. If you rush out and buy it, then put it on your gravel bike with 45mm wide tyres and run into the same issues I had. Lastly, while bolting the group set to the bike was pretty straightforward, helped by good videos and instructions on the Wheeltop website, the pairing process is a bit strange and not as simple as other group sets, and critically isn't done by the app as it arguably should be. Once paired though, indexing the gears the first time is via the app, which mostly works okay. It's not the most intuitive, but a small learning curve as with any new technology. I did, however, run into a small issue, so I sent an email to the Wheeltop support, and amazingly, they replied within 24 hours with a very helpful message and a personalised video to show me where I was going wrong. And I'm not sure if you get the same response from Shimano. The app also shows the remaining battery life for each component and lets you choose between casual and racing modes. The latter is supposed to give faster shifting speeds, but in my testing, the difference is pretty small. So I'm mostly stuck with a casual mode, which gives a longer runtime as the group set goes to sleep after a short while. Okay, let's talk price and value for money. And the group set retails for just over £600. I'm not sure that is in dollars, probably a lot less. I'll flash it up on screen right now. It's not a full group set, remember. There's no chain, cassette, chain set or crank set if you prefer, and no disc brake rotors and no BB either. And compared to Shimano, well, right now you can pick up a 105 Di2 12-speed hydro disc brake group set, brand new, for just over £900, which is pretty nuts. It's a big discount. I'm not sure how those discounts are in other parts of the world. Let me know by dropping a comment down below. And if you have a working servicing group set on your bike right now, you just want to upgrade, like I've done on my Fairlight, then £600 is still cheaper and arguably better value than £900 for a complete group set, and means you keep the parts on your bike that still work just fine, provided they do work just fine. So to answer the question on whether it's good value, I think it is. And for lots of people, it's a no-brainer. For some people, the comfort of a Shimano group set might be worth paying a bit extra for. So let me know what you think on the price and value aspect, but leave a comment down below. So I am properly impressed with the new Wheeltop group set. There's a lot to like here. And while it's easy and perhaps a bit lazy to accuse Chinese companies of just copying more established Western brands, we have some actual innovation here and features you can't get with Shimano or SRAM. My favourite by far is the fact you can choose how many speeds a group set is, from 3 up to 14, or in my case, 10 speed, which you definitely can't do with Shimano or SRAM. They've taken that choice away from you. And we also have the choice of rim brakes or hydraulic disc brakes. It's up to you. You have what you want. Again, that's something that you can't do with Shimano or SRAM. So while those companies are taking away choice, but giving you amazing features, Wheeltop is giving you a choice, the option to choose what you want, how many speeds you want, and the brakes you actually want. So Wheeltop definitely haven't just copied Shimano and SRAM. They've actually looked at what the company is doing and what you guys actually want from your group sets and bikes, and offer something different and unique. And that is pretty cool. And reason, I think, to get excited about this new group set. It's not perfect though. There are issues that hopefully can be refined and improved, like the hood material, tire clearance. There's a gravel bike group set coming, so stay tuned on that one. And the whole app calibration and pairing is a bit clunky and could definitely be improved, and is not on the same level as Shimano or SRAM. And the price, while it's good, is probably not super cheap enough to make it a no-brainer choice, because you could get Shimano or SRAM depending on discounts available in your country. So lots to like then, but what do you think? Do you own a group set? Are you tempted to buy it this year? Let me know by dropping a comment down below. I'll put a link to the company's website. If you want to find out more or buy it, down below in the description. And if you want to see a review of a Shimano 105 Di2 group set and see how that compares, then watch this video right up here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe by hitting that button right there. But that's all today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon.